Okay. Well, the question is that, and perhaps we can get a more definitive answer, is if it's ABC or city ordinance, what's the radius for prohibition of alcohol within a school? Okay, so if we could find that out, that would be very helpful. Ms. Janet Benz had said that in New York there was a large cost to New York City. And I'd like to know at this point in time, can anyone from staff answer what has been the cost to Fremont for this project to date?
It's been no cost to the city of Fremont directly out of pocket. The A's have graciously paid their way, just like any other developer has paid their way through the development and entitlement process.
Okay, thank you. And let's see. I did want to address a comment made by Ms. Gill. She had asked about whether or not we had anyone on the council or staff had personal interest in this project, and likened it to the situation in Illinois. I'd like to make the disclaimer that I am from Illinois, but that doesn't mean that I have any interest in that, and I think that all of us up here have the interest of the city at heart. And so that's what's going to be our guiding force, as we get information and gather what's being said, that we'll make those decisions, not because of any personal interest, except for our love for the city and doing what's right by the people. We have received a lot of emails, okay? So I want the public to understand that we read them. We have them here, and so while we aren't able to answer every one of them, it is here, and we heard what you had to say tonight. As far as commenting to Mr. Diekman, would any of those correspondence be available to the public, or how would they have access to what has been submitted, pro or con?
So all the comments that are submitted as part of this 30-day comment period are put into what's called the final environmental impact report, and each one is responded to, and that becomes a public document. So it's a long process, but every comment that's submitted will have a response.
They get a response, but what I'm asking about is if the public wanted to see the type of correspondence that had it.
It's a public document. It's available. Just ask for it. We do public documents all the time.
Okay. Well, I want the public to to be aware that it is accessible. That's correct?
Yes.
And they could contact anyone in the city staff to get that.
City staff, okay. City clerk.
Okay. So keep that in mind, people.
Just to clarify that, there are comments. We receive emails that don't find their way into this document. They would be more favorable ones, as the case happens to be. But not all the emails that we receive necessarily get into that document. If you get an email that you want to make sure it does, just forward it to them, because they may not go to them.
What about if it goes to Mr. Diekman, will it or not?
Then it's going to be in the document.
Okay, so keep that in mind. I think that's important to know. Well, I counted, as the numerous speakers spoke tonight, we had 8 that were for the project, 30 that were against, and 4 that were, sort of neutral. But what I heard over and over again, it's not so much that people are opposed to the A's, rather it's the location. At least that's what I'm hearing tonight. And I think that the A's have heard that loud and clear and are going to take those comments into consideration as they begin to reach out to the community and address their concerns. So I think that Mr. Wolf had said that they're available and will have their contact information so that citizens that are so inclined can contact him. And I think that we owe it to the city to hear all sides of the stories and to see what their concerns are, what the proposed mitigations are, what is the impact, and then from there we can make a decision. But it's going to be something that's going to take time and patience, and I would ask that from everyone as we gather more information. Thank you.
Ms. Natarajan.
Thank you. Here we are 2 years later, still looking at the EIR process. So for all of the misperception out there that this council has already approved this project and it's a done deal, it certainly is not the case. I think from the other side, the applicant has been extremely diligent in providing us with the information that we've asked for, and reaching out to the community and listening to the concerns and moving forward. So in terms of a process, I think this is something that's frustrating as it might be, something that's been working well from a city's perspective. We've heard comments today about, can't hear? Okay. We've heard several comments from the people that are gathered here about possibly looking at the A's moving to Fremont, but not in a specific location. We've heard over the last 2 years several people talking to us in the community about how critical it is to start getting entertainment options, retail options in Fremont. And we've heard how boring the city is and how we have to go out to do everything except eat and sleep here. I think it was Nina Moore that said it would be completely irresponsible of us if we did not fully explore the possibility. This is an opportunity that doesn't often come a city's way. And if we just blow it away based on emotions and not fact, I think that's completely irresponsible to our citizens, to the growth of the city, and to the future residents of this community. We are a community that's growing, and for us to be the fourth largest city, we do need to have certain things as we move forward, and I think this is a great opportunity that we do need to look at very, very seriously. Let's take a look at the alternative site that they're proposing. This is not something that's being plonked into the middle of an existing residential neighborhood. This is a big investment from a regional transportation agency, the BART, that is looking to put a station here and expect from the city increased ridership. We cannot afford to have 240 acres of land that's sitting underutilized or vacant, and that's not going to be the case. We have an obligation to design that area, the 240 acres, to be transit-oriented, not just adjacent to transit, but truly transit-oriented, which means that we need to follow some specific guidelines set by other agencies beyond the city's realm in the spirit of regional cooperation. So whether we like it or not, there's going to have to be some development in the 240 acres. It could be housing, it could be offices, it could be retail, it could be a whole host of things. So given that, and given the TOD concept that we've got, and given what we have to do with the land as we grow and move forward, is this a component that fits into that long-term plan? Let's not look at that in isolation. Please let me finish. You had your chance, and this is mine. This is my chance to talk.
It's only appropriate that you listen to the council. The council listened very carefully to every speaker. And we extended the courtesy of listening to you. Now please extend the council the same courtesy.
Does it make more sense to have something that's used 82 times a year versus every single day with increased traffic and transportation? Those are the questions that we need to ask and look at very, very carefully in the long term as the city grows, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. It would be unrealistic of us to sit here and think that the Wybell area is not going to grow or not going to change over the next 20 years.